The other day, I get a message from my buddy Nick telling me about this guy Joe, who's been traveling across Canada playing music, living out of his van, and selling coffee that he roasts himself. So I met him downtown, parked right on Main Street, and had some coffee out of his van and got to talk to him a little bit about how it all happened.
Just got sassed by Grandma. Make do with this camping style coffee brewing here. I've been touring for like close to over 10 years now.
Okay.
Most of the time was with my band Audio Rocketry, but I've always released music on the side. Just gotta boil up this water. What's your preference? Like Pam's, she's a hippie naturopath, so she goes with like the bamboo filters. And I got some just like bleach number 4s.
I mean, the quality is just that touch better with the bleach.
That's what I tell her all the time too. I work 7 months on my 7 months out of the year on my family's grain farm, and then I try to keep myself occupied playing music. Or I was living down in the States with my wife.
How do you roast your coffee then?
Well, I roast it in the basement of my farmhouse, just outside of Drumheller. I've got a Coffee Crafter 6 roaster. It's a air fluid bed style of roaster, which is amazing because I can do anywhere from like 5 to 6 pound batches within anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour, depending on how I'm roasting it. Some say it tastes a little bit brighter than your traditional drum, but it tastes fine to my palate. So my wife Pam was studying in Portland for the last 5 years, and like every third person in Portland, I started brewing beer, and I was brewing some beer with my neighbor, and he's like, if you're into home brewing, you'd really love doing like DIY coffee roasting, just home roasting. And he showed me had like an old boilie popcorn maker that he had converted.
How long have you been selling the coffee at your merch table?
For 2 years now. I was releasing a 7-inch, or that was the plan, and I was looking at the cost to have 500 records made, and it was the same money as this roaster. And I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna go with the roaster, and what I'll do is I'll just roast up a bunch of coffee for the next tour, and I'll slap a download code on it, and that way I can justify, investing what I would into the music for this coffee hobby.
Where do you source your green beans from?
So these ones, a warehouse in Vancouver. The beans that you're going to be drinking are single origin, organic Guatemalan from the Huehuetenango region. I think it was close to 9 years ago, Pam and I did a backpack trip through Guatemala, and we found ourselves in that area. And we spent some time on a finca with the community and went out and harvested some coffee. So I don't know if it's like I'm emotionally tied to the region, but I've always had a special spot for Guatemalan beans. So just a medium roasting profile on these ones. And we roasted them just over a week ago. And so, it's had enough time to do its off-gassing thing. And one of the many perks of traveling with coffee, because trust me, it does get stinky in here. So it's like instead of an air freshener, just open up the cap and let the aromas of coffee fill the van. And this is my workout, grinding away. Growing up, it was sort of common for family or friends to pop in for just a visit, and our parents would throw in a cup of coffee. Excuse to get together and have conversations. And I was comparing that to folk music because stylistically, the music that I've been a part of ranges from punk rock to country, but I think it all sort of falls underneath the folk music umbrella because they're storytelling driven tunes that have a political or social commentary on life and culture, and that's really no different than getting together and sharing and having a dialogue over a cup of coffee. So I don't know, music and coffee have more in common than I think we let on to. All right, we're just waiting for the water to boil.
When you dosed it for the grinder, was it weighed, or is it measured in there, or
it's
you just eyeball it?
What I've been doing is filling it up.
Okay.
Right to the max, and it's pretty close. And so, of course, not checking the temperature or anything, just wait for it to boil and go ahead and do our thing. That's been like 15 seconds or so, hasn't it?
Give or take.
Do you stir the grounds after the bloom?
I never do.
No. Oh, got chatting here. Usually after a minute, I like to give it a little stir. My approach to coffee so far, and roasting and even tasting, is not unlike my experiences in music, where it's trial by fire. Well, it doesn't taste like Hortons.
No, it's a good bit better than Hortons.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
By far the best coffee we've had from the van.
Yeah.
It's very excellent for travel coffee. I'll be interested to take the roast and actually try it quite technically. I know we'll do more feedback.
Totally.
For sure, but no, this is delightful.
This is also brew number 1. The trend seems to be after the second and third one. It's more on point.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Well, excellent. Thank you for sharing
Hey,
with me.
thanks, Jeff. I feel like I need to do you up another one with the bamboo, with the hippie one. If you're all right with that.
Yeah. Except I got to go to work. So.
Oh right.
I highly encourage you to go check out Joe, his coffee, his music, his punk band, all of it. He's a real great dude, loving what he's doing, and I've certainly had lesser coffee pass as specialty coffee. And if you can see him on tour, I definitely recommend it. Tell him I say hey.